Mike Pillow is hoping Republicans lose the Senate. Oh, that's interesting. So now during a speech in Georgia, MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell revealed that he was actually secretly praying for the Democrats to win in the state. According to the Macon Telegraph, he told Trump supporters, all of a sudden, I started praying. I go, God, please let them take both of these Senate seats. Both? Now, look, why in the world would he be saying that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, he actually wants to prove himself correct about his nonsense voter fraud claims. Remember, this is the guy that says, the Democrats, along with the machines, Dominion, the Italians, Iranians, and Pomeranians, they come together, you see, with the ghost of Hugo Chavez, and they wanted to steal the election from Donald Trump using the machines. It's Skynet. This guy staked his entire business, credibility, which, believe it or not, at some point he actually had some, and money. Most importantly, money on this. Maybe it's helped him sell a few pillows here and there, but I think it's eventually going to come crashing down like a poorly made pillow fort. The second reason, though, is actually a little bit more interesting, a little bit more relevant. What he's doing is planting the seed. The same seed that Donald Trump planted in the 2020 election. If we lose Georgia, if we lose this Senate race, it's because of voter fraud. It's not because Warnock and Ossoff, because last time they ran on $2,000 stimulus checks, right? And other issues that actually would, try to help the working class. Again, by the way, that actually didn't happen, but as far as the $2,000 stimulus checks, I'm kind of bummed about that. But that said, Warnock is running against somebody whose brand is basically cottage cheese at this point and is not doing well in the polls. Herschel Walker is about 6 points behind, and John Ossoff's not even up for re-election. Not until I think 2027. That said, Lindell also went into how he believes that it would have been smart for Democrats to only win one of the seats, which would have made them the minority. Again, I didn't seem to understand how any of these things work. But says they got greedy. They got greedy by taking both, and therefore made the Republicans believe that the election was rigged, which, by the way, had they only won one, they still would have believed the election was rigged, because, again, that's the narrative coming in from the Republican Party now. That is the mainstream narrative. Donald Trump has decreed, hey, any election that we don't win, it must be voter fraud. It's the fraud. So, look, that's the new go-to move for the party. Half of all Republicans in this point believe that the 2020 election was rigged against Donald Trump. And so what that did, ironically, in Georgia, actually hurt Republicans. According to many Republican strategists, former President Trump's allegations of fraud cost the party both Senate seats because they were discouraged in taking part in the election. They decided to stay home. Now, is that same dynamic going to play out in this race? I don't know. Once again, I said half of all Republicans believe Biden stole the election in 2020, but that doesn't necessarily mean they won't turn out for Senate races, which is really, really important. So, again, we're going to see how this all works out in November, but it's very important to note, once again, that here's Mike Pillow out there planting the seed in the minds of voters that, oh, watch out, it's the fraud, and if they lose, which I'm hoping they do, it's because of the voter fraud.